The Nigerian government has signed a technical agreement with the South African government on air safety and security. This agreement was reached at the Aviation African Summit that came to a close yesterday. Joining us now on the morning show to discuss how this agreement will add value to aviation operators is Onyema, Chief Executive of Airpeace. Great to have you again. We're signing this agreement at a time where we just finished our ICAO certification for air safety, and we came out with about 70%. Can you also tell us about, that and this agreement we've signed? And good to see you again.
Thank you very much. Well, that was a landmark agreement. Over the years, we found it difficult navigating the aviation waters between both countries. It's one of those things, like in America and Canada, once you have certain certifications in America, it becomes so easy for you to carry on with that in Canada. So this time around, between South Africa and Nigeria, the two civil aviation authorities have come together to agree. This agreement just didn't fall out from the blues. It didn't happen in a vacuum. Both countries, both CAAs must have reviewed their processes, their procedures, their regulations before agreeing to synchronize and come together for this. Before now, if you are a pilot in South Africa, you come to Nigeria, you start all over validation and all sorts of things. It takes time. But what they've just done will help the cause of aviation development in Africa. And we encourage others also to take to this kind of arrangement. It will make the ease of doing aviation business easier in Africa, if other African countries can take a cue from this. But at the same time, kudos to Captain Musa Nuhu, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority henchman, and that of South African Civil Aviation Authority, Poppy Kosa. By the way, Poppy Kosa is a woman, but she's the person at the helms in South Africa. It was a landmark achievement.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Onyema. I'm smiling because you said Poppy Kosa is a woman, and I'm delighted to see that. And we have women in Nigeria also who made very great strides in the aviation industry. But breaking it down, from that, like you said, landmark, really great to see that we will be able to mutually benefit from this agreement in terms of air safety and regulations. Beyond that, it is the gap in our ICAO ratings, with South Africa having 90% and Nigeria having 70%. How do we begin to bridge that gap? And like you mentioned, which other countries should we potentially look at having arrangements like this beyond the African continent? That's really key, but also our international partners as well beyond the shores of Africa.
Yeah, there's a gap between Nigeria and South Africa, no doubt about that. But also, some of these gaps engendered because of years of negative perception of the country Nigeria, not necessarily a reality on ground. Yes, the ICAO did took place last week. Nigeria gained more points after the ICAO did, and that is a plus for us, both the civil aviation and the airlines that were used to do all that. South Africa is about 92%. Nigeria is a little above 70%. Yes, that brings to the fore the gains we are going to get from this kind of mutual agreement we had yesterday. We are going to learn. There's nothing to hide. It's one aviation worldwide. It's one aviation worldwide. It's almost same regulations. So we are going to learn from them. The Civil Aviation Authority of Nigeria is going to learn from them. And of course, there are things South African side will learn from the Nigerian side. The most important thing is that Nigeria has a very good mark, above 50%. We are now over 70. We are getting there. But let me tell you something in aviation. Perception, years of stigmatization of Nigeria as a country and others also play a role in these things, because you need to prove and overprove. Some of the things they might tell others to prove, ours might be 10 times over. for them to believe because of not so good incidents of the past. But we can't continue to dwell in the past. We need to do something about the perception of Nigeria as an unsafe country. The skies in Nigeria are the safest in the world. I will tell you that because the kind of oversight the Civil Aviation Authority in Nigeria brings to bear on Nigerian airlines is unheard of anywhere in the world. But you still struggle to prove to the world that we are safe. Airlines fall out of the skies all over the world almost on a daily basis. You never hear something like that in Nigeria because of the kind of oversight functions the MCA brings, to bear on us.
Well, Chairman,
it's a good one. No doubt we're going to learn from them.
Okay, Chairman Epis, good points about the deal with the South African Aviation Authority, Civil Aviation Authority. But the big elephant in the room is Emirates, Etihad, and the deal that was signed last week by President Tinubu. You recall that at the time when Emirates was withdrawing from Nigeria, the airline operators of Nigeria had raised issues. Epis in particular had raised issues on the basis of which NCAA said if Emirates will be enjoying 21 frequencies into Nigeria, it should be possible on a reciprocal basis for Nigerian Airlines to enjoy the same going to the UAE. That didn't happen at that time. In fact, your company was restricted to just one flight to a place called Sharjah. In any case, my question is this: what's your reaction to this latest development? Emirates, Etihad coming back, and then the Nigerian government not having worked out this issue of frequencies and reciprocity. Do you feel shortchanged?
Well, we are not yet privy to the context or the entire ingredients of that meeting they had, apart from what we hear in the media and, sometimes the pronouncement of the government itself. But the truth is, I cannot say we feel shortchanged, but I want to applaud, first of all, the fact that the president went out there to normalize relations between two countries, which we are hitherto friends. That is a very landmark achievement to me. The fact that he moved swiftly to normalize relations between these two countries. Mutually, we have a lot to gain together. So I thank the president for doing that. Then on the aviation side, you see, charity begins at home. It is true that there are issues of trapped funds in Nigeria, but the foreign airlines are not alone in it. The foreign airlines are never alone in it. The local airlines are we also have trapped funds in the central bank, not just the foreign airlines. So the AON, we don't want a situation where the foreign airlines are treated in isolation. We have a case too. Just as they have trapped funds in Nigeria, these monies are in their bank accounts. They can change it through I&E window. They can go through the central bank. We support that Nigeria should pay airlines of foreign origins their money. But at the same time, government should also look into what is happening to the Nigerian Airlines funds. Most of the airlines in Nigeria have funds. They did all this bidding, just like the foreign airlines. You have your Naira in the bank with the central bank. You have your dollar there. The central bank has not given you your Naira. They've not given you your dollar. So is the Nigerian airline different from the airlines from other climes? So we must, and we are the people that actually bring the jobs. All the foreign airlines coming to Nigeria put together do not have up to 100 staff. Quote me. All the foreign airlines, about that, something of them or whatever, they don't have up to 100 Nigerians employed directly by them. No. They all use the same NACO and SACO. This one changes uniform. This one comes next time. They all do that. But most of us have about 6,000 workforce, creating hundreds of thousands of jobs for the polity and moving the country around without these foreign airlines. So Government has done a very good job normalizing relations between us and UAE. We support the payment of the foreign airlines, their money, but at the same time, the local airlines must also be given their dues. We all cry about, oh, Nigerian airlines are weak. Nigerian airlines are not weak. What Nigerian airlines lack is truthful government support. That's all. That's all we lack. And talking about Barca, you all were witnesses to what happened some 2 years ago. Emirates flies twice to Lagos, once to from Abuja. Etihad comes, so it's over 20-something. Flight frequencies. At the stop of the COVID issues, we wanted to go back to even Sharjah. They refused us. At the time, MPs was begging for just one slot. Okay, let us fly once a week to Sharjah. They said there are no slots. When did this slot, when did they get to cover all the slots? They refused. Until I wanted to go to the High Court of Nigeria to stop all the airlines from there from coming into this country before government then waded in. And the rest is history. Then I allowed, and I said, I'm not going to go to Sharjah again. I must go to Dubai. Before they now allowed us. This is international aero politics, so dirty. So Nigeria is owing them, fine, Nigeria should pay. They pulled out, they wanted to pull out, and when they realized that if they pull out the way they threatened, there was an earpiece logging behind that would plug the gap. And the next thing is that visas banned. It's okay. I applaud them, I clap for them, because countries are supposed to protect their own. And that's what they did. I have nothing whatsoever against Emirates or the United Arab Emirates for what they did. I support what they did. That's how countries function. But over here, most times we sacrifice our own for other climes. But like I said, I thank the president for normalizing relations between these two countries. It's a step in the right direction. That was so statesmanly. He did very well there. Now we're advising government to make sure that as they are paying the United Arab Emirates or Etihad or other foreign airlines for that matter, Nigerian airlines should not be told to take their monies in Naira when they had already made a bid, just like the foreign airlines several months ago, and their money is trapped. They should also give us dollars. 98% of aviation is dollarized. So what do we do?
Right. Thank you so much for those insights. I would like to also ask you the state of play as regards this visa ban. Are you people in the airline, have you heard anything? Can somebody actually apply? How easy it is to get a visa now to Dubai as we speak? What are the processes there? Have those airlines returned? Or it still has to take a process because the initial statement was there with immediate effects? And when are you going to start loading passengers over again to those areas?
Yeah, they just had the agreement last week. Certain processes will come into place. Emirates will like to prepare and advertise, give passengers time. People need to plan their. So it's not something. Yes, government must have said with immediate effect. Yeah, immediate effect is that this need should be lifted now and now. So there are other things behind it all they need to do together before they start. But I can speak to you, nothing has started yet. But if they start issuing visas, we also give our passengers maybe a month or 2 weeks before we advertise. Nobody's going to stop any Nigerian airline from going to UAE. It will not happen. It will not happen. And I'm sure the government of Nigeria must have told them so. The Honorable Minister of Aviation spoke as well yesterday. There's no way they will come into Nigeria without Nigeria going back to them. And the issues of, like we told the minister, the issues of multiple destinations and multiple frequencies being given to foreign airlines into Nigeria is unhelpful. If Nigeria wants to come out of the doldrums of this dollar issue and our foreign reserves, they need to address the issues of multiple frequencies given to foreign airlines in this country. You see, and if you say you're not going to help the Nigerian airlines, how do you want now to start earning dollars? You can't eat your cake and have it. You want to earn dollars. Aviation is one sure way every country can attract foreign exchange. And we are not doing that. Instead, we are telling our airlines that we can't give you this, we can't give you this. Because we fail to realize the place of aviation in the economy. If Nigeria is flying to London, flying to the United States, flying to every part of this world, I'm telling you, it's an enormous, the kind of foreign exchange we're attracting to this country is unbelievable. All those over $1 billion you're hearing going abroad, that should have been returned over here. But there is this deliberate stigmatization of the country. There is deliberate refusal of some of these foreign countries, to allow Nigerian airlines to access their own airspace, together with unscrupulous Nigerian government officials. They do that. They don't do it alone. Now, APIS has been given, has gotten the TCO UK approved. We've passed the audit. The next thing now is for us to get the flight operations permit. The most important hurdle is the TCO UK. We've passed the audit. We passed the audit. But it took 7 years for them to come and do the audit. But you don't blame them. The Nigerian side, in those 8 years, were fingered to have, allowed them to do that until the DGNCA, Captain Musa Nuhu, stood up against it recently. And now they came to audit us. They thought the world would fall over our heads. Nothing happened. We are equal to the task, the same procedure. We passed it excellently. Now we've gotten the approval. The next thing is slot. And they were telling us to go to Stansted or take Gatwick. I'm not going to Stansted, neither Gatwick. You come to the primary airport in Nigeria. The 2 primary airports we have, that is Basa for you. You give me your own primary airports. It must be Heathrow or nothing. We've waited 7 years. It must be there. But there are other Nigerian airlines. United Nigerian Airline has gotten designations from the federal government of Nigeria. Max Air is a flag carrier too. Ibom Air is coming up to do regional. And some others are, coming up. They need total government support. Forex, inevitable for these airlines to succeed. Then, of course, cheap funds. You want to invite these airlines into Nigeria and give them multiple frequencies. They borrow money at 2% or 3%, not more than 4% in their countries. In Nigeria, we borrow money at 26%. And that was why the IATA president cried out 2 days ago. Now, what is not happening in Nigeria is unbelievable. And how do they want their airlines to succeed? Mr. Awadi said it, Kawali said it a few days ago, the vice president of IATA. But we keep on shouting about this. How could a foreign airline take off from its country, land in Abuja, drop passengers, and take off from Abuja and go to Port Harcourt, drop passengers, and take passengers from Port Harcourt and come back to Abuja again, pick passengers, then go back to its country? It is not done anywhere in the world. Let those airlines come and tell us if it is done in their country. I know about an African giant airline that has even closed its own airspace to any other airline except them in their country. Yet they wanted to be in Nigeria. They want to about 5 destinations. They have about 5 destinations in Nigeria, multiple frequencies. No country does this. You are allowing your foreign exchange your foreign reserve to be depleted unnecessarily. How do you grow the local airlines if you don't allow them to do those city hopping instead of these other foreign airlines doing city hopping?
Mr. Onyema, well, on that note, we'd like to thank you very much. Big takeaway, charity begins at home. Every country must look out for its own people's interests. Excellent point. Thank you very much indeed.